Last quarter-final in the 4,000 metres individual pursuit, and the man that really does burn rubber is Umaras from the Soviet Union. He's the current world champion, and he's up against the Italian Beltrami.
Welcome back to the Olympic Velodrome, the final quarter-final of the men's 4,000 metres individual pursuit, featuring Gintautas Umaras of the Soviet Union and Ivan Beltrami of Italy. Umaras, of course, the current world champion. He also figured second place in 85 and 1986, and he's been the Soviet champion for the last 4 years. He won here last year in world record time at the Seoul International.
I think you'll probably find that Umaras will be riding only to get the fastest time, which means that he's got to beat the 4:33 that was registered by Bernard Dittart in the last race, and that'll make him the fastest qualifier, which means he meets in the last four the British rider Colin Sturgis, who rode a time of 4:49.
And that would mean that Dean Woods and Bernard Dittart would clash in the other semi-final.
Which on paper doesn't look too good for Australia, because Dittart has just ridden 4:33, his fastest time so far in the competition after 4 rides, which is a pretty, 3 rides, sorry, which is a pretty good indication that he's handling it all pretty much in his stride.
Umaras just completing the second lap. He's opened up a lead of just over a second on his rival from Italy. What a great record this fellow's had, Rick, over the years. He's left no stone unturned.
Yeah, he's a very strong rider, Umaras. He's done some wonderful times over the last couple of years. He's actually indoors has got well into the 4:20s, which was a magnificent time, like almost 10 seconds faster than they're going here today.
Well, there's the 1K split of 1:11.48,
which is pretty typical for Umaras through the first K. I think you'll find that his time will be, his coach will have him set on a schedule which is just enough to make him the fastest qualifier, and he doesn't have to do any more. He's got 2 more rides tomorrow. He's got to ride against Sturgis, and then he'll be riding the final out of the winner of Dittart and Woods. At least that's the way it'll probably pan out.
Well, his 1K split is virtually spot on with this morning of 1:11.77. But he's a very easy rider, very strong on the legs. He's powering those out at the moment up that back straight.
Although he's have to improve a couple of seconds on his time this morning, because you must remember that Dittart has also improved his time by 2 seconds.
Yeah, well, that was a great ride in the third quarter final.
He's a beautiful rider to look at, Dittart. He just sits on the bike and it looks like he's just riding to work. He just got his arms beautifully bent, the legs up and down, perfectly smooth. He's got a great position on his bike, and as in comparison to the Italian rider here, just hasn't got the same rhythmic motion as Dittart has.
Well, Umaras this morning 2:19.13 was his 2K split. Let's see what he does on this occasion. As he goes to the line, he's come under that, 2:18.28.
Yeah, that's pretty well on schedule. I think he'll probably lift it a little bit in the next kilometre, come through possibly in about 3:37, and then he'll be on target for his 4:33.
Already through to the semi-finals, Colin Sturgis of Great Britain, 4:39.39. Dean Woods, 4:35.11. Bernard Dittart of East Germany, 4:33.70.
Actually, Umaras has almost got the Italian in the same straight as him now. As he heads towards the straight, you can see the Italian is about 60 or 70 metres in front of him, and that will be a help to him, as it's always an advantage to have a lure in front of him.
So you can see the difference, or the distance between the 2 riders at the moment, and it's Umaras closing very quickly on the Italian.
The time that we're looking for at the 3K split, that is after 9 laps, is anything under 3 minutes 38 seconds, and that will probably give Umaras his fastest split times yet, and that'll push him as the fastest qualifier, and it'll mean that he goes against Colin Sturgis, which means Dean Woods will ride against Bernard Dittart, which isn't good news for Australia.
Well, his split this morning was 3:26.93, 3:25.58, and he's closing on the Italian. 3 laps to go.
There he is down the back straight. Yeah, his seat does seem to be a couple of seconds up on schedule. It looks like that's exactly what the Russians are playing.
Well, he's battling to try and be the leading qualifier.
And that's the end of the Italian, of course. And there's 2 laps to go for Umaras as he heads down the back straight.
We got a great applause from the crowd right in front of us here as he came past the finishing line with just 2 laps to go. Well, a lap and a half now.
And he heads down towards the bell.
This morning he finished with a time of 4:35.32.
And his time will be just on 4:33, which will make him the fastest qualifier. He's moving very fast up the back straight. In fact, he's lifted very well. His last kilometre has been very strong. I think you'll find it'll be a low 4:30 It'll be either high 4:29 or low 4:33. It's going to be very close with Didart, actually.
Well, 4:33.70 is the time to beat with the leading qualifier into the semi-finals. 4:32.83. So, in fact, he does become the leading qualifier into the semi-finals. So he will race off against the slowest man, Colin Sturgis. It will be Dean Woods against Bernd Didart of East Germany.
They did that like clockwork, David. It was perfectly. He went out nice and easy at the start, increased the tempo right through the race. They went along just enough to make sure that he was the fastest qualifier. I don't think we've seen Umaras extend himself yet. You've got to remember that his world record time is 4:31. He's yet to get near that. I think when he's pushed in the final or the semi-final, you'll see a world record here from Umaras. There's no doubt. I think this man will win the gold medal. It's just a matter of whether our Dean Woods can get up against Bernd Didart, who hasn't quite got the speed of Umaras. So if he can, it looks like a silver medal for Woods. Otherwise, he'll be in the ride-off for a bronze against Colin Sturgis of Great Britain.
Still to come from the velodrome, we'll see whether Julie Spate of Australia can go through to the quarter-final of the women's 1,000 metre sprint. She's got to battle out a repechage coming up very soon.
Thank you, David Fordham. And Dean Woods is in great form in that 4,000 metres individual pursuit for the man to beat, the world champ, the Soviet Umaras. After this break, we'll go back to the hockey out at Sungnam Stadium to see if our own women have fought back against Canada.